this gospel doesn't need a homily because it doesn't need an explanation. Jesus himself gives the homily. He explains the parable. What we can see is how each of us is. Moreover, even at different times of our lives, this difficult year of the pandemic is not the same as the previous ones, and God's will, those to come. But I believe that in these people, represented by places where the seed falls, I believe that here we can find ourselves, if not fully identified with each one, but at least we have, for sure, a little bit of several of them. For example, people who have good intentions, they have them, but then they are so busy. They are so full of worries and occupations. Those good intentions are never fulfilled. They remain calm because they have good intentions. Because they have good intentions, they think that everything is done. You don't do anything, but since you have the desire to do, you have a clear conscience. Even, for example, many, very many, it depends on the countries, but in some countries very many, think that they are already on the side of the poor because they voted for a party that supposedly defends the poor. They lead a life, sometimes even of corruption, and if not, of course, a life of consumism. But they have a clear conscience because they vote for a party that, I repeat, supposedly reality is often different, supposedly defends the poor. They have good intentions. They do not nothing else than others do not even have those good intentions. When they have had problems, they have asked God for help, or they have asked someone who believes in God, like their mother or their grandmother, to pray for them. As soon as the problems are over, they have forgotten. God no longer exists. In success, they are shipwrecked. In success, they think that they owe nothing to anyone. The seed fall or fell. When you were a child, it was transmitted to you by your parents, by your mother, your grandparents, and the soil was not bad. But then, the grampers began to grow, the worries, interest, and it turned out that the seed was frustrated. It did not bear fruit. But what happens to those who bear fruit? Those who bear fruit are happy. That is what is forgotten. I believe that those who bear fruit do not forget it because they know it for experience, but the others forget it. Happiness comes from loving. Happiness comes from doing good. There is more joy, Jesus says, in giving than receiving. Happiness comes from seeing that you have been able to relieve someone, not to solve their lives. That can only be done by God, but to help them, relieve them. That your good desires were transformed into good works. That your worries did not stop you from thinking of others. Or their struggles of life did not prevent you from realizing that there were others outside of you who needed help. We have received the word. We have received it, possibly most of us, at home. Not all of us. Not all of us. Most of us were born in a Catholic home. We had a gift with Catholic parents, sinful, limited with their problems, with their faults. But we had that gift. We have received the word. What fruits are we bearing? Because, moreover, I repeat, If we not bear it, it is worse for us. We must convince ourselves of this. Being with God is the best in life. To do what God wants is the best in life, even if you have to make an effort. If it costs you a sacrifice, being with God is the best thing in life. Happiness is being with God. Happiness is to bear fruit. It is not that God has to be grateful to you. It is that you have to be grateful to Him, because He is achieving in you the miracle of bearing fruit. Let us bear as much fruit as possible, and let us thank God because we can bear it. And let us also do everything possible to remove from our land brambles and the stones, that is to say, the obstacles, so that God can triumph and reign, so that we can bear the fruit which the Lord deserves. So be it.